Hello everyone, I'm Anthony, the Eclectic Chef. Welcome back to my kitchen. Well, today we're going to be making pasta with chicken in a pesto, vodka and cream sauce. What actually kicked me off on this recipe was the fact that I needed to trim my basil bush back in my herb garden because it's starting to flower and I needed a use for the basil leaves, so why not make some pesto? And I have a chicken breast, so let's make some pasta. The other thing I'd like to talk to you about, is cooking for one, which I suspect is a lot more of us than we care to admit. Now, usually I'm cooking for myself and the sous chef at least. However, she is decamped to our English kitchen, so it's just me. And as I have other dishes to cook for you in the coming days, tonight I really can't use leftovers that much. So I'm going to be very careful about how much I cook. Typically, I don't mind putting food into meal prep containers and eating them later, or eating the same thing for 2 days. But shopping and cooking for one can be a frustrating and expensive undertaking. It's difficult for a lot of people. So I'm trying to bear that in mind as I prepare tonight's dish. If we have any chicken left over, which we might, then it will be used in a salad or a sandwich tomorrow. In the meantime, let me just run through the pesto sauce ingredients very quickly. I do have a full-length video on pesto sauce, Marcella Hazan's pesto sauce specifically, and I'd like you to go back and look at that if you're interested in really making good pesto sauce. Today, I'm not using butter, as Marcella advises, as I'll certainly be adding some into the cooking, and it does complicate the blending of the pesto sauce. But I'll see you back here in a minute. So, here we are with our pesto sauce ingredients. And I'm hoping this is not too much for one. If so, I'll just set it aside or maybe put some in with the pasta and the leftover chicken for a little lunch dish or a snack. But anyway, so we have a cup of loosely packed fresh basil leaves from our herb garden. I'd say 3/4 to a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. This is 3 tablespoons of pine nuts. You'd probably get away with 2, honestly. I started out with 4 and took a tablespoon out because 4 was just too many. 3 cloves of garlic. You may not want to use that many. I like garlic, and some freshly grated black pepper, which an awful lot of people don't put into their pesto sauces. So we're going to pop this in a small blender and add just enough extra virgin olive oil. I'm thinking probably 4 tablespoons, but I will let you know until we get like a workable paste for our pesto sauce. We'll come back in a few minutes and show you the blender. So we stuffed all this into the NutriBlender Bullet. I used the smallest container I could. There's 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in here. And we'll blend this till it's smooth. I'm not going to make you suffer the blender noises. I will tell you if we had to add any more EVO. So, here's our pesto sauce. I had to add another 4 tablespoons of olive oil to get this to blend up. I just want you to see the consistency. It's way thicker than salad dressing, but thin enough, pushed it out the way, thin enough to work well over the pasta and the chicken when we make a sauce with it. So there's our pesto. This will pretty much thicken up and go solid if we put it in the fridge, by the way, but we can save it for later. If we refrigerate it, it should last for about a week. I doubt I'll use all this, but maybe I will. We'll see. Worked out well though, I'm happy. In the meantime, if you remember that 1 tablespoon of pine nuts I said I removed from the original recipe for the sauce, well, I'm going to toast these quite vigorously and use them as a garnish on the finished dish, probably with a little chopped parsley from our garden. I thought about using the chiffonade basil, but I thought that might just be a bit too much. Well, I do try to improve the nutrition profile of my meals wherever I can, so I prefer to use whole grain pasta. In this case, we're using Barilla penne, just a cup. It's only me, maybe a little too much, we'll see. If you don't run to higher end pastas and have to buy, store brand names, peace and long life, you'll be good. This recipe will still work out for you. Here is the broccoli and tomato salad we're going to be having with our pasta meal tonight. You'll be seeing more in a separate post about broccoli and tomato as combined foods, but I really do try to eat this a few times a week. The dressing on this is just a dessert spoon of Queen Creek olive meal, Meyer lemon flavoured olive oil, and half a dessert spoon of Jiangqiang Chinese vinegar. Think of it as Chinese balsamic. Tastes great. It's good for me. Be good for you too. But I suggest you watch that episode, which will be coming up in the next week, by the way. So that's just FYI. So we've put half a tub of, I think it's 4 ounces, of criminy mushrooms I got from Trader Joe's in here to saute down, which I'm going to add to the chicken and the sauce. As I said earlier in another video, these are not the best criminy mushrooms I've seen in the world, but they'll work and we need to use them up. We don't waste stuff in the eclectic chef's kitchen. They will add a nice bit of a textural contrast to the chicken and the pesto sauce. I was going to throw some peas in, but now we've got mushrooms, I won't bother. I'm not going to make you watch these cook. That's like watching paint dry. But I will come back when they're done. I'm going to take them out and reserve them while we cook the chicken. Then we'll put them back in when we do the sauce. So see you in a minute or two. Here's a pounded chicken breast. Just put it between a bit of cling film and have at it with the pounder here. I find the pounder's better. I used to use a hammer and it's much better, the pounder. Just trying to get it fairly even thickness so it'll cook quicker and facilitate the slicing. I usually season these, but because we're using sauces, I'm not going to do that tonight. If you don't have one of these and you're trying to pound out chicken breasts or chicken thighs for this recipe, you can always use the bottom of the small saucepan. This is not rocket science, you just need to flatten it out. But you do probably need to put it between some cling film first. Well, the mushrooms are done, so we're going to put those in a little reserving bowl, start cooking the chicken. So here's the flattened chicken breast in the pan. And put the top on, stop spitting, but leave a good crack on the side so it doesn't steam. I'll show you when it's done. So here we go. Mushrooms back, cream in, vodka in, pasta in, pesto sauce in. I actually used all of it, by the way. It surprised me, but it's okay. A little extra vodka, splash of pasta water. We're just warming up the pasta and then we're going to serve. Looks like I will have 2 servings, despite my best efforts to only do one. I'll show you what it looks like when we've served it up. So here's our chicken with whole wheat penne in a vodka, cream and pesto sauce. We've topped it up with fresh grated parmesan, toasted pine nuts and parsley from our garden. Looking forward to trying this. I'll let you know how it tastes, but I'm sure it's going to be good.